Good morning. It's Sunday morning. Sun is shining where I am anyway, down in Cornwall, and just getting ready for a live with Caroline Hickey, who is over in Sydney. So I'll just wait for a few of you to jump on, and I'll wait for Caroline to request to join, and then we'll get straight into all this magic. Say hi when you arrive. If you're watching this back, please do put something in the comments if there's anything you want to share. Morning, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Meg. Hi, Leonie. So this live is going to be very intuitively led. Caroline and I speak regularly, probably at least once a week. And there's always magic to be had. Okay. Hi, love.
Hello. Hope everyone.
Welcome.
Hi.
Aww, beautiful plants.
It's your coral, like the jumper you wear, and green. I think you would love it.
You can send it over from Sydney to me.
I don't know if it would survive. Oh. Hi everybody. You people jumping on. Yay.
So tell everyone where you are, because like I know that people always like, where is she? Is this her home? Give everyone a little tour.
So I just left my home to my little naked 2-year-old running around the house collecting towels for her bath. So I've jumped down to the gorgeous guys here. Have this florist in Maroubra called If the Florist. Like if someone sends me flowers today, I'll be just so happy. And a lot of their flowers are in the cool room out the back because it's Sunday night here, so they're looking after them. But we have lots of gorgeous green plants and amazing art. And yeah, I just pull up down here on my bolster with my candle, ready to go.
I'll light my candle. Give me a moment.
Well, you know, we're moving through a fire season. So, you know, embrace our fire.
We are. So let me light my match. Let me light my fire. And maybe we can start with that, Caroline, because I think a lot of people are feeling the effects of this season. So maybe if we could talk a little bit about what's going on energetically, and then we'll go into like your personal story.
Sure. Okay. Well, I just want to let people know that I'm not an astrologer or a planet specialist. I tune into the energy of things. So when I'm tuning into the energy of the time right now, and excuse me, I've got a bit of hay fever. We're moving through Aries season. The sun is in Aries, and I'm an Aries, so this is good for me. And it's good for everybody because Aries is a fire sign, and it's a cardinal sign, it's a power sign, it's the ruler of the head. And with this energy, we really have an opportunity to do two things. This is what I'm tuning into lately. I thought I'd get focused on just one side of the Aries aspect, but there's actually another side, so I have to be honest. So Aries are leaders, like they're trailblazers, they're risk takers, they're the ones that they can be visionary as well. So they're the ones that will step forward when others don't quite feel ready. And they'll encourage a team. They can really build team around them, momentum, and make things happen. But their energy is to initiate, like to strike the match, to start the fire and get this new growth, this new opportunity happening. But being an Aries, you've also got to realize that, you know, it is a hard and fast energy to really like drive change and transformation. And then that fire starts to reduce. So you can't hold it forever. Where Leo energy is a steady burner, this is more of a powerful strike of the match fire. Put a lot of energy into things and then let it run. You know, you don't always have to be at the front. You start it and then you let momentum build and move with it. Now with that, there's also the energy of anger, frustration, rage, competition, you know, wanting to get ahead. That's the shadow side of Aries. And, you know, we can also go a little hard and fast and race in too quickly, not think about things and, you know, make a mess of things if we don't tune into our... So there's those energies at play. We've just come through the full moon Libra, which, you know, usually around full moon it can be quite high vibration and super light. But I found this moon deeply healing. And I feel like a lot of people for the last week have been really maybe battling some of their inner demons, the stuff that they thought they'd worked on, the stuff that they've been trying to dissolve and let go of for a while, maybe came back to visit. Might not have had as much power as it has had in the past. But this was the moon to say, let's clear it, like hand it over. Enough now. Really cut that cord. Let's be done with it. You know, just because it's part of your story and it might have built who you are, it might have built strength, it doesn't mean you need to keep carrying that programming with you anymore. So it's nice because we've got that, you know, be who you really want to be, free yourself, love yourself. And when you love yourself, your love travels further. You know, everyone else will feel your love because you'll have so much more to give. You'll be overflowing. So there was a lot of this. Last night I held a moon circle and one of the questions that came through channeled was, what is your most important need? You know, what do you need now? Because often we can spread our energy to everybody else and we don't leave enough pot for ourselves. So what is your need? And then the other question that came up in the circle was, what part of yourself are you keeping caged up? Like what part of yourself are you keeping hidden from the world? And, you know, it's time. It's time to let that part of yourself that you're hiding from the world get some airtime, at least with you. You know, maybe not in the world yet, but at least with you. At least acknowledge that part of you. And it takes small changes, small little adjustments in your life to have massive impact. Massive. But it just starts with acknowledging what it is hiding in a cave. That, you know, is really who you are, your true essence. And we deny it so often. We can deny it. I know I denied mine for a long time. And life gets so much better when you acknowledge that truth within yourself. So they're the two energies coming forward, that it's time to step forward, strike a match. What is it you want to bring into the world? And also what's coming up for you that's old and needs to be let go of. And let the healing happen. Like you and I were just talking about how a lot of people have been tired. It's been time to rest. I myself, I've had beautiful friends, you know, saying, oh, you've been doing a lot to rest. And yeah, I know that. And I think we all have been getting these different messages. And I think it's because we've got the Aries new moon early in April. And be ready, be ready to initiate this this new energetic opportunity in your life. Rest to create. Yeah. Be ready. Be ready. Yeah.
It's so interesting, Carolyn, because I've had a few friends reach out to me this week and say exactly that they've had to like release something that they thought they'd already processed, they'd already worked through, but like that shadow was still there and needed to be released. But they're also feeling like they're striking the match and they're doing big things in their world, whether that is with making changes, whether that's in their business, whether that's with their family. So like these two energies, yeah, really complementing each other, like letting go of the stuff that needs to let go of so that you have the space to like fully step into the light.
True. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the stamina. Because even though we're in Aries season now, then we have the beautiful new moon coming forth. And that's a time of new opportunity and start things. And yeah, we've got to be, well, we don't got to be anything. We have an opportunity to use the energies to support us in what it is we wish to pursue, what's calling us from our forward, our spirit call. Yeah.
Amazing. So good. Okay, so I feel like we dived straight into the energies, which was so, present. But what I'd actually really love to talk about as well is a lot of people in my community know you, but a lot of them don't. So I would love if you could just like introduce yourself, like who you are, like a little bit about your past and like what you're here to do on this planet. You can answer that as big or as little as you want to.
Just the soul contract stuff. I'm just trying to get more light because there's so much beautiful lighting in here, but it's a bit difficult with the phone. I also, just before I share a bit of my story, want to let people know that if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm a medium and I tune in to an energy line. It's like the guidance or the knowledge for the group on tonight, those that will watch this. Your guidance is coming through the ether and I'm tuning in and picking it up. And for the moment, it's over here on the left. So it's like I'm trying to get the best signal. So yeah, please don't think I'm being rude or scatty if I'm not looking into the camera. I'm just really trying to get the best info for everyone. So a little bit of my story. I have been seeing and sensing spirit and reading energy since I was, like, I can remember as back as 6. So maybe forever, like maybe since my birth and maybe since lives before this one. But I definitely was dialoguing with my parents from 6 and onwards. And thankfully, my beautiful father said, it's not all in her head. We can't say it's all in her head because we don't know. Like, we just don't know. And because he was open and accepting of my gifts, it just kept the door open, and I was able to keep dialoguing with my parents about all my experiences. And so my skills developed and expanded. And I suppose that's what happens for everybody when they acknowledge their gift. And so, it used to be starting with seeing spirits and then tuning into the energies of people, not by choice. I just see in my mind's eye, like their story, like a movie. I'd know what was going to happen to them, or I'd know information about their family that I shouldn't have known. So this was part of my early journey. Then teenage years was really hard because you can't just tell people that you see their stuff and offer them helpful guidance unsolicited, but that's what teenagers do. And so you burn lots of bridges if you get too involved in other people's business. Looking around my 20s, I really started to acknowledge these gifts. And beautiful people came into my life, like teachers, just randomly, divinely guided teachers came into my life and offered me the guidance and support I needed on my path to help me keep elevating on the journey. And yeah, so now I do see, I connect with, in Australia, the spirits within the land, the ancestors, strongly, and within nature, communicate with the element. Yeah, I do a little bit of mediumship for people. It's not my main focus. I suppose I'm an everyday medium in that I tune into the energy of people and places and plants and animals, and I just receive the knowledge that way. Human design, I know a few people are interested in human design, reflector, turns out. So that helps that when I'm sitting with someone, I'm reading their soul story and then I reflect back to them. So I think that sort of comes, yeah, alongside the other gift. I don't want to say too much because I want to talk to the group, but I do want to say that when I acknowledged my gifts and started to give them time and attention and allow them to become part of me and dance freely in this world, my life changed and continues to change every day beyond measure. And I wish I had freed myself many years before I did, because the growth and the expansion is beyond. And I wish that for everybody listening tonight. Yeah. And everyone on the planet. slowly, in time.
Yeah.
You said what's my mission here on the planet? To help people with that process, because I believe that we're all of our higher senses, whatever our higher sense is for us, will always two that are our strongest keys in this world. That we embrace them and that we activate them in this time. It's a very powerful time to be activating. Yeah. I hope that's clear. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take.
Thank you. You talk about it being like a really powerful time right now. Are you happy to go go into a little bit more detail on like what your thoughts are in terms of why the time is now? I know a lot of spiritual leaders and meditation teachers are talking about this, and I know that a lot of people in my audience will be like, well, I don't really understand what these people are talking about. Like, why is the time now? And a lot of people are channeling in their messages.
Okay. So I just speak from the guidance that comes through for me. And so I was a child, I have always seen in my mind humanity being like that we're all vibrating at in a way that, find the words, blah, 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 blah. Because we are currently in a structure, a societal structure, a program that limits divine, innate divine gift. All have this capacity to live beyond what we see with our physical eyes and what we touch with our hand. There's more here. And we are capable of more. We have more power within us than most people would imagine. And I'm still learning this myself. So I used to have visions as a child that we would evolve as a collective humanity to a point where we didn't have to to each other like we are now, that we'd be able to read each other's thoughts, that we'd be able to tune into each other's energy, just know, so deeply connected that there's a knowing. And so in the past few years, there's major energetic shifts that impact our earth here. these vibrations are higher vibrations than they have been. I'm just trying to make it really, as accessible as possible. And that energy is always coming towards us in waves. And it's a subtle change and shift, but infiltrating everything on this planet. It's infiltrating, slowly entering us and settling to our cells and our bones. So change is inevitable. Our transformation is inevitable. The more we're aware of this, we can surrender to it and move with it, the easier the journey will be. But when we want to resist change and resist going to these places of thinking about supernatural or about higher senses, thinking about life beyond what we can see and touch, that can cause a lot of resistance. People lock up, oh God, and they just want to keep things how they are. That's just going to cause discomfort. Energy is encouraging elevation. And if we want to stay at a different vibration, we're just going to feel in a charge, this discomfort, this want and need to change something. And really it's surrendering and actually tuning into who we are, why we're here, and just remembering that we came here for a bigger story. We're not here just to slot into a system, like the conveyor belt of a supermarket, buzz. No, you're here, service, a mission, a teaching, a wisdom of some sort, and it's different for everybody. But we can get so caught up living in the wheel of life that we lose ourselves, we lose who we are. And, for many people, it's around their late 20s and early 30s start to seek their truth, who they are, why they're here, and how they can be part of a bigger service, the bigger picture, the connection, unity, humanity. But now I'm seeing so many young people in their 20s, they are so switched on. And these young ones in their 20s, they're asking the question now, like at 18, 19, 20, 21. And we're seeing a shift away from like alcohol, and we're seeing a shift towards connection within these young ones, these new leaders. And there's more on the way, like the little toddlers. So I've gone off on a tangent. What was I saying? No, well, the shift is happening.
Yeah.
So if this energy is already coming onto the planet now, it's going to continue to come and encourage these shifts and these higher vibrations, then now more than ever, it is encouraged for you to step into your power and to move with the vibration and change. Move with the elevation, because you're needed. Your gift is, yeah. I say gift because we could talk about clairsenses, or we could talk about mediumship, or we could talk about seers, but there's so many beyond all of that. And I don't want anyone to feel like they've got to go into a particular box, because there's people that are having experiences that I haven't even envisaged, and then they experience it with me, and it makes pure sense, like absolute sense. That's how they're encountering this experience. Every perception is different. We think everyone's perception is the same, but it's not. And when we start talking about our spiritual experiences, or those moments where we've seen beyond the veil, we've felt life beyond what we see and touch, then we realise a whole heap of people have had pretty powerful experiences, but they've just been locking it up in their cave or keeping it on the sideline. Don't know what to do with it. It's been a bit taboo. People haven't felt that they could express themselves without ridicule, rejection, all that stuff. But we need to be part of the shift to move forward. Yeah.
That's the thing, and both of us have been through this, in that it's scary, especially when you've grown up in a society that suppresses that kind of stuff. A few hundred years ago, you'd be burnt as a woman, you'd be burnt at the stake for having these kind of ideas. And like, that's within ourselves. So there's a lot of work that has to be done to move through those, some shadow work to go through those upgrades and kind of let go of those pieces of us. And I'm seeing that a lot with friends and family at the moment, of people going through these like really kind of dark, heavy emotions, processing, letting go, crying, you know, doing their form of shadow work so that they can expand into their gifts, start to show up and show their gifts with confidence and like conviction that like this is my truth. And
Yeah.
it's really it's so inspiring to see so many people starting to do this.
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to be aggressive either. Have the warrior energy within us. But I keep talking about doing it with a steady heart.
Yeah.
Doing a steady heart. Yeah.
Amazing. The next question I have for you, I do actually have a specific question I wanted to ask you today.
Okay.
At the start, you kind of spoke about your gifts and who you work with. So you work with the ancestors of the land in Australia, you work with the elements, so trees and, you know, sand and the ocean, and nature.
Yeah.
And I know that you can work with kind of the higher angelic realms as well. Could you speak to everyone a little bit about like how they can tap into working with their guides or like energies outside of themselves to kind of support them on their soul path? Because this is something that people ask me a lot of the time, like how do I communicate with like my guides or my ancestors or like my lineage or my angels or like whatever they believe in. Is there any like pearls of wisdom that you can like pass on of like those kind of first initial steps?
Sure. You know, yeah. I'm thinking back to when I started embracing. Okay, so I'm thinking back to when I was in my 20s and I read all of Doreen Virtue's books, you know, the angelic books. And I think that the first connections I was having with spirit was with the archangels. I feel was working with angels before I, you know, opened up to the spirits in all things. And I used to pray every night and I'd pray every day. And I'd pray to my God, my beliefs, whatever your beliefs are, your faith, your connection to Holy Spirit, I'll call it that. At the time for me, that's where I was. And I was praying with the archangels often. And the thing was I'd get frustrated because I'd be like, me, you know, they're not helping me enough. Like I'm asking, but they're not giving me, like, it's still not easy, still a bit like, I know how obnoxious. This was me in my 20s.
I want it now. Why are you giving me what I want?
I'm airy. I said I'm an airy. And so, you know, I'd sit with them, meditate, and I'd sit and I'd say, what is it you need? Because I don't think I'm getting it right. And they're like, we're doing our best, but you're so last minute. So I've just got that. You still got my connection?
Yeah, just
can you
say
still
that
hear
again.
me, Susie?
You cut out a little. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we had a delay. They said to me, you need to spend more time with us and you need to give us more time with your requests. Because I'd be like driving and I'd be like, what now? I need a parking spot, please. You know? Right? But now, if I'm driving home, I'll ask like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Like when I get in the car, I'll say, could you please give me a parking spot right out in front of my place? And every time I do, there's one. I might have to go around the block once, but then there's one in a better spot than I ever received. I got to give them a little bit of time, a little bit. And also make time to actually switch off all distractions, because we're a little bit demanding when we want to start connecting not only with our own spirit, but whether we want to channel, connect with source, angels, guides, whatever it is you want assistance with. You need to turn the TV off, get off the podcast, definitely follow Susie Cast, but just get off them for a while and dedicate time to just being still, being quiet, sitting in your power, opening your heart and letting them know you're there and you're listening. And then see what happens. Oh, my mum, hey, mum. And do that like every day. Like give time to those you want to connect with every day. Now I've got spirit telling me, yeah, but you sometimes, Carolyn, you don't do every day. And I know when I don't do every day.
Your mum, Caroline's mum,
get called really powerfully to go sit in nature and be quiet and with my guides, or those that are wanting to work with me for whatever, you know, different for different life. But also, you can call on your ancestors. We're part of a lineage, and we don't have to do things on our own, thought of our ancestors. And we can ask them to, you know, to be part of our journey, to guide us and to support us and to keep us strong. And to share, you know, their energy with us when we take leaps, when we need to step forward and be brave and courageous. But, you know, we are sovereign, we are self-governed, and all of these beautiful beings, they can't intervene. They have to wait for an invitation. So you are asking and inviting in ancestors. You know, I often call in mother, you know, to support and be with me at different times. Or beautiful spirits of the land that have been, you know, I call on them. So you ask for their permission if they would work with you, you know, if they would. You know, you ask, respect, and invite as you would any new friend, you know. The communion, it's a relationship, it's a co-creation. We're moving together, we're moving forward together. Yeah. So you have to listen, right? You can't just be in a where you're doing all the talking. My parents are probably laughing watching that one.
Something that like you've passed on to me, which has been really helpful for me with this element, is like inviting them in. So like I work with my grandmother too. Like I will wear her jewelry when I want to connect with her, and like actually like closing the eyes and really like tapping in, asking them to like come to a particular part of the body. I know tapping into the subtlest sensations that you can. Quite often you'll actually be able to feel the presence come in. So, well, this is what my experience is after doing a lot of, you know, it's not that, it's, you know, it's just you having a shiver because you're a bit cold, or I don't know, whatever the logical mind will tell you, starting to really like tap into just like the trust piece. I think you've paused a little bit. Let's just see if we can get you back while I talk about this. Okay, we might have lost you. You might need to dial back in. There you are. You're back. I'll give it another like half a minute or so. So I might close this live off if Caroline is, we might be guided. This is the end of the live. Okay, so before I close off the live, I, with my audience, that Caroline is getting a new program that I have just launched, which is open until Friday. So this program is called Soul Ascension. You may have heard me talking about it already, because the final model is all around galactic guidance. That's okay, Caroline. I was just saying that we've been divinely guided to finish the live. We've been doing this for half an hour. So Caroline will be coming in at the end of this program, because we're going to spend the first kind of 8 weeks raising the vibration of the group, really working with our own souls. And yeah, the final module is all about with the spirit world, and our archangels, our angels, our ancestors, spirit animals. And Caroline's going to be coming in for the integration ceremony. And it's going to be almost like a coffee morning, or a wine evening if you're in Australia, to really talk about this, ask very open questions, and we'll be sharing some of our own experiences that are probably not appropriate to share on Instagram. So if you're interested in joining that program, all the details in my bio, I invite you into the space. And if anyone here has any questions before I close off, then just pop them in the comments. I'm just going to let Caroline rejoin so she can say bye. She's back. That's okay that you've got tattoos. I'm closing off the live.
No.
You're here. It's okay.
I'm here.
I'm going to close off the live. So I'm so happy that you just like rejoined via video again, just so that we can both kind of wave goodbye to everyone together. So thank you so much for coming into Sacred Space. I always say that Instagram can be such an incredible platform to share own kind of sacred space on Instagram. So making sure to follow people that inspire you for coming, being live with us from Sydney. Have you got any?
Me. Technology's great. Angels got us off and on again though, got it working. I just want to encourage everybody that's here listening, and anyone you know, if any of you have these higher senses activated, there's a part of you, your journey here, that is calling you, but you're not actually to it, please listen to it. It's time, and you don't have to take big steps. You just have to take little steps. But when you make the time and the space to turn in, to slow down, to listen to your spirit and acknowledge your gifts, life changes and wonderful things happen. And if I had only started earlier. So I'm very grateful now that I wish this expansion for all of you. Of course, you know, why not? Not now, when? You know, yeah.
Thank you, love. Always so good to connect with you. It's always magic. So thank you. And yeah, I'll see everyone soon. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and take care. Bye.